Sai Ram and welcome to the next session in computational linear algebra. Let us begin this session with a prayer. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just to reiterate on what we had done last time, I was thinking if I could use a different framework and just to check if the understanding is a little better from last time. So we have picked up two vectors. One is 995 and another one is 002. We have to understand the diagram carefully. We have to understand that the A vector is not lying on the xy plane, but it is coming out from the xy plane and it is coming towards you, or is going in the upward direction and I'm actually coming out of the screen. Similarly, 002 is another vector and it is also coming out of the screen. And we were asking ourselves how do we visualize the linear combination of these two vectors. So here is another attempt to just try and draw this to see if we get a better understanding. Okay, here is an attempt to draw this plane, and how we have to understand, we have to look at this plane that is in black color, and how we understand this plane is that this vector A is contained on this plane, and I have tried to extend this plane in both the dimensions with respect to this A vector as well as B vector, and obviously the imagination must take you to an infinite plane. So you have to imagine that it extends in this direction as well as inside Z, as well as infinitely in the direction, positive direction as A goes, or below in negative direction of A. So you will find a huge infinite plane that contains both these vectors. It contains both A vector and B vector. So I am hoping that this idea is driven in, and we have some clarity of what the linear combination of two such vectors we have taken as A and B, what does it provide. So with that understanding, we will continue into the next part. So maybe we could try and solve a few problems, and I think that will bring us much better understanding. Before I get there, a few thoughts. Do we see, are there some life lessons that we can learn from vectors? Okay, let's say that a good activity is represented by the vector 1, 1, 1. When we say 1, 1, 1, we are just taking some example vector for a good activity. And let's also try and think that all good qualities are also represented in similar vectors. For example, I can talk about being dharmic or following righteousness as, let's say, 2, 2, 2, and being kind could be 3, 3, 3. Being loving, let's say, is 4, 4, 4, etc. So if we try to look at these vectors, what is interesting is you can pick up any number of such vectors. I am not saying either 2 or 3, pick up any number of such vectors and let's apply linear combination of them. And when you apply linear combination of these vectors, you will find that you will definitely land up only in a vector whose pattern continues to be the same, like saying C, C, C. So you would never be able to get some other pattern. What does this indicate? What this indicates is, if we do good activities, if we are kind, if we are loving, if we are following righteousness, we will not deviate from that line. How many ever combinations that you pick up here, we will still remain on the same line and we will not get deviated, and therefore we will be able to achieve our goal in a one pointed fashion, and that will be extremely fast. Now let's assume that yes, we are having a lot of good qualities with us, we do good activities, etc. But then once in a while, we may tend to slightly deviate. And let's assume that 1, 2, 3 is one small example of some different activity. Now you understand that if you pick a vector which is good, like say 1, 1, 1, and try to take the linear combination with say 1, 2, 3, you are going to see that the direction will get deviated. The resulting direction, the resultant vector's direction is deviated. Now what does that indicate? When all our qualities and actions and thoughts are good, in one pointed fashion we will be able to achieve our goal, but then when we have certain bad qualities with us, it can get us deviated. Okay, that is one good lesson that we can draw from vectors. Are there any other lessons that we can think of? Okay, here is another beautiful philosophical lesson that I thought I could share. Let's see how this goes. So when we draw vectors, we always draw all the vectors from the origin. Whichever vector it is, we always draw this from the origin. Now whichever vector it is, let's say this is the vector 1, 2, 3, and here is the vector, let's say 1, 0, 0, etc. What we understand is that all of them are originating from the source. And what is the source? 0, 0, 0. Oh, which actually means nothing. And it is this nothing that has given rise to all the vectors, which is everything. Oh, that means everything has come from nothing, and everything will one day get back to its source, which is nothing. Okay, interesting. But I think I'm going to stop here and let's move ahead to do some problems. Okay, here is the first problem. So we are given u and v vectors. U is 1, 1, 0 and v is 0, 1, 1. The question says, can you describe the linear combination of u and v, and also find a vector which is a linear combination, and find one more which is not a linear combination of u and v. So how do we answer this question? The first thought that we must look at is whether these vectors are linear combinations of themselves or not. For example, let's say that I pick up the vector 1, 2, 3, and if I ask you another vector 4, 8, 12, we find that the second vector is actually a multiple of the first vector, which means it's a linear combination of the first one. And combining these two will never deviate you away from the line that passes through 0, 0, 0 and 1, 2, 3. This is what we have learnt. And therefore, if we consider linear combinations of vectors 1, 2, 3 and 4, 8, 12, it is not going to describe a plane. No, it will not describe a plane, but it will describe only a line. Now what about these two vectors 1, 1, 0 and 0, 1, 1? Are they multiples of each other, or should I put it differently? Can we say that u is a linear combination of v, or is it possible to do this vice versa? Can you reverse and say, is v a linear combination of u? The answer is no. Why? Because we have got a single vector u and we are trying to see, using this vector, can I produce v? Can I use u, take all its linear combinations, and can I produce v? No, it is going to be impossible. We will not be able to produce this, because you find that there is a 0 here. You will not be able to produce this v. Therefore, these two vectors are not linear combinations of each other, and therefore u and v, if we take their linear combination, it will give us a plane. And where will this plane be? This is in R3. Now how do I know R3? Because these vectors had 3 dimensions and obviously they must be vectors in R3. So when I pick up the linear combinations of u and v, it will describe a plane in R3 and not a line in R3. So let's try and describe this plane. So what do we mean by describing this plane? What we'll do is we'll pick up some constant here. Take u vector, this is 1 1 0, plus another constant, say some real constant d, and this is 0 1 1, and what would be the resulting vector? The resulting vector is going to be c here, it is going to be c plus d, and the last one is going to be d. And we are going to say this vector describes that plane. So what do we mean when we say that this vector describes that plane? Any vector that's going to kind of fit into this pattern, all these vectors will lie on this plane, the plane that contains this kind of patterns of vectors. One example that we can take is, let's look at the u vector. What did we have for u vector? So what we say is, when I pick up the u vector, if I keep c as 1 and d as 0, we get c plus d, which is 1, and it is described by this same pattern. Let us now talk about the v vector. In the v vector, we had this to be 0 and we had this d to be 1, and what do we get in the middle component? It will again be 1, and we find the v vector was 0 1 1 and it is being described by this pattern. So that is quite interesting. Therefore, shall we pick up one more vector that should probably lie on this plane? So the easiest thing is, I'm going to put a 1 here, put a 2 for d. Now you can guess what is the vector that's going to lie on this plane. It will be 1 3 2. Let me ask a different question. If I write the vector 1 2 3 and ask you, does this lie on this plane? Does this lie on this plane? What would be your answer? Maybe you could pause the video and try to answer for yourself. The answer is no. This one cannot lie on this plane because it is not described by the pattern that we see here. It is not the center component is not the sum of the first and the third components, and therefore this vector is an example of a vector that does not lie on the plane described by the linear combination of u and v. And here is an example of a vector that lies on the plane described by the linear combination of u and v. So that is our first problem. So let me move to the next one. So here is our next problem. We have u. Remember, now we moved to R2 because there are just two numbers in the column vectors. U is 1 0, v is 0 1. We have heard of these vectors. They are quite special vectors. And the question is, can you describe Cu where C is a whole number? Okay, remember what's a whole number? Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2 and so on till positive infinity. Similarly, the second part says, can you describe Cu where C is greater than or equal to 0? So that means that this is any real number, any non-negative real number, And the last part says, describe this Cu plus dv for both the cases above. So you will have to pick up Cu from the case A, add dv to it and tell us what happens. Move to case B, Cu, add dv to it and then find out what this describes. So let's think of the answer. We have u is 1 0, u is 1 0 and Cu, so let's multiply with this constant, this is going to be C0. So what would be C0 where C is a whole number? So let's pick up some examples and see what happens. So when we start from 0, you will find that this one fits into this pattern, then 1 0 fits in, 2 0 fits in and so on. Now question is, does 1.20 fit into this pattern? no, this doesn't fit in because it's not a whole number, and therefore what do we have? We have a set of points. We have a set of points. Please remember that this does not describe a line. This is not a line because the constants can only be whole numbers, and therefore this describes a set of points which are here. So points like 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, etc. Or should we say the set of points on the positive x-axis. What about the second case? What would happen in the second case where it's a similar discussion, but this time C is any real number, any non-negative real number. This time what would happen is that we will have to fit in this. This also will fall in, and the pattern is the same. It is C0, but since C is greater than or equal to 0, this time Cu will describe the positive x-axis. Remember, here we had a set of points on the positive x-axis, whereas here this is actually a line, but not infinitely in both the directions. It's a half line. It's a half line because in the positive direction it can keep extending infinitely, but then it stops at the other end, which is at the origin. Okay, let's move ahead to the case C. So case C is going to be, what would be Cu plus dV, and we are looking at Cu from case A. So let me just slightly mark this here so that we understand what we are talking. Case A tells us that Cu is a set of points on the positive x-axis like 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, etc. To that we are adding dV, and there is no condition that has been placed on the D, which means that every single D is permitted, and therefore what should be our answer? So if we have here, this is 1, 0, this is 2, 0, this is 3, 0, etc. And if you are saying that we are going to add dV, remember that D times V is the V is 0, 1, and this is going to be D, and there is no condition on D. D could be any value, and therefore what we get is lines which are parallel. So how many such lines? Infinitely many lines. So we get infinite parallel lines. Okay. Similarly, let us discuss, instead of A case, what would happen if we talk about the B case, where Cu now is not just the set of points, but every single point here, every single point on the x-axis is now included, but it's only the positive x-axis. Now if we add dV to it, you can very easily understand that the number of lines is going to increase. So we are going to have lines here, we are going to have lines here, we are going to have here. Now even in between them, so if you extend this idea, what do we get? We get this entire plane. Now what plane is this? This plane is the half plane. Okay, we cannot call it the complete plane because it's not the complete xy plane, but we are getting a half plane of xy where x is greater than or equal to 0, and that is the description of Cu plus dV when we use the Cu from case B. Okay, let's move to the next question. U is given as 1, 2, 3, V is minus 3, 1, minus 2, W is 2, minus 3, minus 1, and yes, we are in R3. Question says compute U plus V plus W. Okay, that's quite a silly question. And later it asks what will be the linear combination of U, V and W. Okay, first let's attempt the first part, just to compute U plus V plus W. So let me quickly calculate this. U plus V plus W is going to be 1 plus minus 3 minus 2 minus 2 plus 2, 0. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 minus 3, 0. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 minus 1, 0. Okay, so that means when we compute the summation of these three vectors, we get 0, 0, 0. And the next question, the next part says what will be the linear combination of U, V and W. Typically what we have learned till now is that we said that in R3, let's pick up some three vectors and we describe that their linear combination took us to the entire R3 space. Now, can I apply this knowledge and give the same answer here? No, there is going to be an issue, and that is the secret of computing u plus v plus w. So let us look at this carefully. So when we look at u plus v plus w, we find that the summation goes to 0, which means that can we say that u plus v is equal to minus w? Or can I say w is nothing but minus u minus v? So I would further express this as w is nothing but minus 1 times u plus minus 1 times v. Now how does this look like? This is going to be cu plus dv, where c is equal to minus 1 and d is equal to minus 1. Okay, what does this indicate? This indicates that w is a linear combination. W is a linear combination of u and v. Okay, so what does that tell us? If u and v, the linear combination of u and v, if they describe a plane, then w lies on the plane. How do we know this? Because when we pick up a linear combination of these two vectors, obviously it is going to lie on the same plane, and that is what we have seen those pictures earlier. And therefore, picking up u, v and w and trying to take their linear combination, all the three, we cannot apply this logic because it will continue to describe a plane and it will not lead to the R3 space, because one of the vectors out of the three happens to be linear combination of the other two. Okay, now to the next part. Does u and v really describe a plane, or is it something different? How do I look at this? We have to check if u is a linear combination of v or if v is a linear combination of u. And if you look at it for a while, you will understand that if we are given single vectors, we just have to check if the second one is a multiple of the first one or the other way. And we find that that is not the case. I can't take a multiple of u and produce a v, and therefore u is not a linear combination of v, or v is not a linear combination of u, and therefore u and v, linear combination of u and v, will describe a plane in R3. And the linear combination of u, v and w will describe the same plane in R3. There won't be any other change. Now, if you want to know what is the plane that it describes, then the answer is simple. We just pick up, so we can say c times 1, 2, 3 plus d times minus 3, 1 and minus 2, and we can write the answer. I mean, this is simple algebra. So c minus 3d, 2c plus d, and 3c minus 2d. So pick up any two constants and substitute those constants here. All those vectors that come here will be part of the plane that is described by this vector. One example that I can straight away give is, pick up c as minus 1 and d as minus 1 and apply this here on this vector. You will find that you will land up into w. And what does that say? That w lies on the plane described by this, and that's what we discovered earlier as well. So that is the answer to this problem. So what it indicates is given a hint saying that if u plus v plus w go to 0, it helps us understand that one of them probably is a linear combination of the other two. And using that fact, we discovered that U, V and W only describe a plane and not the R3 space. I request all of you to also attempt many more problems, and there is nothing to worry even if you have not understood everything here, because as we proceed there are a lot of techniques that are going to help us solve these problems. So there is nothing to worry at this point. This is just the beginning. So let us end this first problem solving session with a prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.